The Galactic Council was a grand assembly of alien species, representing the most powerful and influential beings in the galaxy. Their meetings were known for their seriousness and gravitas, yet today the atmosphere was light, almost frivolous. The council had convened to discuss the rising influence of humans. The general mood was one of amusement rather than concern. Back on Earth, the mood was tense but hopeful. The human military had recently completed the construction of a massive new warship known as the Dreadnought. This ship was the pinnacle of human engineering, a technological marvel designed to showcase the very best of humanity's advancements. The project had been shrouded in secrecy, with only a select few knowing its full capabilities. Now it was time to reveal it to the galaxy. General Marcus Thompson, still reeling from the humiliation at the Galactic Council meeting, was now at the center of this new development. He was determined to prove humanity's worth and show that they were not to be taken lightly. The Dreadnought was set to be unveiled in a grand event, which the general hoped would make a lasting impression. In the sprawling facility where the Dreadnought was being prepared, engineers and technicians worked around the clock. The ship was enormous, dwarfing anything that had ever been built before. Its sleek, dark hull was lined with advanced weaponry and defense systems that were cutting edge by any standard. As the final touches were made, excitement buzzed through the ranks of the human military. They were ready to unveil their secret weapon and change the perception of their species. Meanwhile, news of the impending reveal reached the Galactic Council. Some members were curious, but most were dismissive. They had heard of the Dreadnought, but believed it was just another attempt by humanity to bluff their way into respect. The Council continued to laugh off any claims about human advancements, convinced that nothing would change their view of humanity as an insignificant force. In a secure briefing room, General Thompson and his team reviewed the final preparations for the presentation. They knew that this event needed to be more than impressive. It needed to be unforgettable. The goal was to demonstrate the Dreadnought's capabilities in a way that left no room for doubt. The general was confident, but he could not shake the feeling that the stakes were higher than ever. The day of the presentation arrived, and the event was set to be broadcasted live to the Galactic Council and other interested alien species. The excitement on Earth was palpable as people gathered to witness what was being billed as a major showcase of human technological prowess. The Dreadnought was wheeled into place on the launch pad, ready to make its debut. As the council members tuned in, their reactions were a mix of curiosity and skepticism. Councillor Vrel, who had mocked humanity the most, was particularly disdainful. He viewed the event as nothing more than a show, a feeble attempt by humans to gain recognition. His fellow council members shared his doubts, although a few were intrigued by the secrecy surrounding the project. The presentation began with a dramatic introduction. General Thompson stood before the massive Dreadnought, his voice steady and proud. He outlined the ship's capabilities and its role in human military strategy. As he spoke, the ship's systems were activated and its impressive features were demonstrated. The Dreadnought's first test was a display of its firepower. The ship fired its main cannons, and the resulting blasts were controlled yet powerful, leaving a trail of destruction in a simulated environment. The council members, initially dismissive, watched in growing interest. The second test showed the ship's defensive systems, which effortlessly neutralized incoming simulated attacks. As the demonstration continued, it became clear that the Dreadnought was far more advanced than anything the council had expected. The precision, power, and technology were impressive, even to the most cynical observers. The laughter in the council chamber began to fade, replaced by murmurs of surprise and concern. By the end of the presentation, the council was left with a stark realization. Humanity had not only revealed a new level of military capability, but had also proven that their technological advancements were on par with, or even superior to, those of many galactic powers. The council's attitude was starting to shift from mocking dismissal to cautious respect. The rising tension was palpable. The Galactic Council's previous laughter was replaced with a serious reassessment of humanity's potential. The Dreadnought had done more than just show off human technology. It had forced the galaxy to reconsider the place of humanity in the cosmic order. General Thompson and his team had succeeded in making their point, but the battle for recognition was far from over. The Galactic Council now faced a choice: continue underestimating humanity or acknowledge them as a formidable force on the galactic stage. Humanity, a young and relatively new player in the galactic stage, had recently made headlines with their military advancements. Reports from various sources suggested that humans were developing new technologies and strategies. But the council members dismissed these reports with smirks and snickers. They were confident that humanity was still far behind the advanced races of the galaxy. In the heart of the council chamber, a large screen flickered to life, showing footage of a recent human military exercise. The footage featured tanks, soldiers, and fighter jets, all maneuvering through a simulated battle. The council watched with a mix of curiosity and derision. To the alien members, it was clear that the humans were still using outdated technology compared to their own. Councillor Vrel, a tall and imposing figure with shimmering scales, leaned back in his chair. "Look at them," he said with a chuckle. "They still rely on physical weaponry. It's like they're stuck in the past." Councillor Alara, a graceful being with flowing silken wings, nodded in agreement. "They're trying so hard to appear formidable, but their technology is nothing compared to ours." The laughter that followed was not just polite, it was full-blown, echoing through the chamber. The aliens had little respect for humanity's efforts, viewing them as mere blips on the galactic radar. Meanwhile, back on Earth, General Marcus Thompson was preparing to address the council. He had been tasked with presenting humanity's military advancements in the hope of earning respect and acknowledgement. However, he had little idea of the derision that awaited him. As he entered the council chamber, dressed in his formal military uniform, he was met with a sea of indifferent faces. The aliens barely looked up from their conversations. Marcus took a deep breath and began his presentation, confident that the data and evidence would speak for themselves. He started with a summary of human military achievements, the development of new tanks, advanced fighter jets, and an impressive array of weaponry. But as he spoke, the council's reactions ranged from yawns to barely concealed smirks. Some members even whispered to each other, clearly unimpressed. The final part of his presentation was meant to be the highlight, a new strategic initiative that demonstrated human ingenuity and tactical skill. However, when the holographic display began, showing simulations of complex maneuvers and advanced tactics, the council's amusement grew. Councillor Zynak, a stern-faced alien with a metallic sheen, leaned forward and addressed General Marcus with a condescending tone. "Is this what you consider advanced? Our technologies make yours look like children's toys." The comment was met with a ripple of laughter. Marcus tried to stay composed, but it was clear that the council was not taking him seriously. He could feel the weight of their ridicule. As the meeting concluded, Marcus left the chamber feeling defeated. He had hoped to impress the council with humanity's progress, but instead, he had only succeeded in providing them with more reasons to mock his species. The laughter of the council members echoed in his mind as he walked away, their disrespect a harsh reminder of the long journey ahead for humanity. Back in the council chamber, the members continued their discussions, their laughter eventually fading as they returned to more serious matters. Yet, amidst their mockery and jest, a small seed of doubt was planted. The aliens had underestimated humanity, and while they laughed now, they might soon have reason to take a different view. For now, though, the council's mockery was a stark reminder of the challenges humanity faced. The journey to be taken seriously on the galactic stage was far from over, and the road ahead was filled with obstacles. But unbeknownst to the council, humanity had something special in store, a surprise that would soon challenge their perception and change the course of their view on Earth's military capabilities. The grand unveiling of the human Dreadnought was set to be the most significant event in recent galactic history. The anticipation was palpable as the day of the presentation approached. Earth had pulled out all the stops to ensure that this event would be remembered across the galaxy. It was not just about showcasing a new warship, it was about proving humanity's worth and altering the galaxy's perception of their species. General Marcus Thompson, now filled with a mixture of hope and anxiety, stood on the observation deck of the space station that orbited Earth. From here, he could see the Dreadnought in its full glory, docked in a specially constructed spaceport. The ship was an engineering marvel, its sleek, dark hull reflecting the stars. The Dreadnought's advanced systems had been calibrated, its weaponry tested, and its defenses put through rigorous drills. Everything was ready. The Galactic Council had been invited to witness the event live, with the broadcast reaching every corner of the galaxy. The council members, although intrigued, were skeptical. They had heard about the Dreadnought, but were not convinced it would be anything extraordinary. Many thought it was just another attempt by humanity to show off. As the time of the presentation drew closer, the spaceport's massive doors slowly opened, revealing the Dreadnought in its full, majestic form. The ship was enormous, dwarfing any other spacecraft in the vicinity. The audience, both human and alien, watched in awe. The Dreadnought's sleek, dark design was a stark contrast to the more conventional, blocky designs of other ships. The presentation began with a dramatic flourish. The stage was set with an array of holographic displays showing the Dreadnought's capabilities. General Thompson, standing at a raised podium, began his speech with confidence. He spoke of humanity's journey, their progress, and the significance of the Dreadnought as a symbol of their technological advancement. As General Thompson spoke, the Dreadnought's systems came to life. The ship's engines hummed with a deep, resonant sound, and its massive frame glided smoothly into position. The alien delegates watched with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism, their expressions hard to read. The first demonstration was a display of the Dreadnought's firepower. The ship fired a controlled blast from its main cannons, sending a burst of energy towards a distant target. The blast was precise and devastating, creating a large crater on the target's surface. The power and accuracy of the weaponry were impressive, even to the most jaded observers. Next came the defensive systems demonstration. The Dreadnought was subjected to simulated attacks from multiple directions. The ship's defenses responded with swift and effective countermeasures. Energy shields flared to life, deflecting incoming projectiles, and counter-missiles intercepted any threats. The defensive systems were flawless, handling every simulated attack with ease. Throughout the presentation, the council members' skepticism began to wane. The demonstrations were far beyond what they had anticipated. The Dreadnought was not just another ship, it was a formidable weapon of war, showcasing technology that was cutting edge by any standard. The alien delegates shifted in their seats, their earlier laughter replaced by serious contemplation. General Thompson's final demonstration was a simulation of the Dreadnought's strategic capabilities. The ship's advanced AI system coordinated a complex maneuver simulating a large-scale battle scenario. The Dreadnought moved with precision and speed, executing tactics that would be difficult for any other ship to match. The simulation showed the Dreadnought's potential in a real combat situation, and it was clear that humanity had created something truly exceptional. As the presentation concluded, the council members were left in stunned silence. The Dreadnought had exceeded their expectations, and the respect they had once withheld began to surface. The ship was a game-changer, a clear indication that humanity was not to be underestimated. The grand unveiling had achieved its goal. Humanity's technological prowess had been demonstrated in a way that could not be ignored. The Galactic Council was forced to confront the reality of humanity's potential and reconsider their previous dismissive attitudes. The once-mocked species had now earned a place of respect on the galactic stage. For General Thompson and his team, the unveiling was a moment of triumph. They had managed to shift the perception of humanity and showcase their strength in a way that would be remembered for years to come. The journey of proving humanity's worth was far from over, but the grand unveiling marked a significant turning point. The aftermath of the Dreadnought's grand unveiling was a turning point for both humanity and the Galactic Council. The once skeptical council members were now grappling with a new reality. Humanity had proven itself to be a formidable force. The tide had turned, and the council's attitude towards Earth had begun to shift dramatically. The Galactic Council's meeting room was filled with an air of seriousness. The members, who had once laughed at humanity, now sat in solemn discussion. The Dreadnought's performance had left them rattled. Councillor Vrel, known for his scornful remarks about humanity, was unusually quiet. His earlier arrogance had been replaced by a look of deep contemplation. Councillor Alara, who had initially been dismissive, now appeared concerned. The Dreadnought is unlike anything we have seen from humanity. Their technology is far more advanced than we anticipated. Councillor Zenak, with his metallic sheen reflecting the room's dim light, spoke up. The human ship's capabilities are impressive. We need to consider the implications of their advancements. This is no longer just a small threat, but a serious challenge to our authority. The Council had to reassess their stance. The Dreadnought had proven that humanity was not only capable of advanced technology, but also had the potential to change the balance of power in the galaxy. The Council's previous jokes and laughter now felt like a distant memory. Back on Earth, General Marcus Thompson and his team were following the reactions of the Galactic Council closely. The initial excitement of the grand unveiling had given way to a more subdued atmosphere as they awaited the Council's response. The Dreadnought had made a statement, but the next steps were crucial in solidifying humanity's new position. The news about the Council's shift in attitude spread quickly among Earth's leaders. The Dreadnought's success had sparked a wave of optimism and pride. The once mocked humans now had the opportunity to negotiate from a position of strength. However, they knew that maintaining this new respect required careful diplomacy and strategic moves. In a special briefing room, General Thompson and his diplomatic team prepared for their next move. The Council's response was expected to be a mix of caution and scrutiny. The general was determined to seize the moment and ensure that humanity's newfound respect was not short-lived. The next Council meeting was scheduled to address the changes in human military capabilities and the implications for galactic relations. As the meeting began, the Council members were noticeably more attentive and less dismissive. General Thompson was invited to speak, and this time he was met with a respectful silence rather than mocking laughter. He began his speech by acknowledging the Council's previous doubts and expressing humanity's desire for peaceful coexistence. He emphasized that the Dreadnought was not meant to threaten, but to demonstrate humanity's capability and readiness to contribute to galactic security. As he spoke, the Council members listened carefully. The respect that had been earned through the Dreadnought's demonstration was now being used to build diplomatic bridges. The general's tone was calm and conciliatory, aiming to reassure the Council that humanity sought cooperation rather than conflict. Counselor Alara addressed the general after his speech. "We acknowledge the advancements humanity has made and the potential implications for our collective security. However, we must discuss how we can ensure that these advancements are used responsibly." The conversation turned to possible collaborations and agreements. The Council was interested in establishing new protocols to integrate humanity into the galactic community in a way that ensured stability and cooperation. The general's approach was to agree to terms that promoted mutual benefit while protecting Earth's interests. The Council's shift in attitude marked a significant change in the galactic dynamic. The once ridiculed humans were now seen as a key player in the galaxy. The Dreadnought had not only proven their technological prowess, but had also forced the Galactic Council to reconsider their position. As the meeting concluded, General Thompson and his team felt a sense of accomplishment. They had turned the tide from mockery to respect, and the groundwork for future relations had been laid. The journey from being underestimated to being recognized as a powerful force was a remarkable achievement. For humanity, the turn of the tide was more than just a change in perception. It was a new chapter in their galactic journey. The path ahead would be filled with challenges and opportunities, but the respect earned through the Dreadnought's unveiling had set the stage for a more influential role in the galaxy. The events following the Dreadnought's grand unveiling marked a turning point for humanity and the Galactic Council. The once dismissive attitude of the Council had shifted to a newfound respect and cautious interest. The Dreadnought had proven that humanity was not just another minor player in the galaxy, but a significant force with advanced technology and a strategic presence. In the aftermath, Earth experienced a wave of optimism and curiosity. The Dreadnought had not only demonstrated humanity's technological prowess, but also its potential role in the broader galactic community. As the Galactic Council deliberated on their new approach to humanity, Earth's leaders were keenly observing the developments, eager to understand their place in this new dynamic. General Marcus Thompson, still at the forefront of humanity's diplomatic efforts, was now dealing with the aftermath of the Dreadnought's impact. He knew that maintaining the respect and trust gained through the ship's demonstration would require careful management and strategic planning. The general and his team were working tirelessly to draft proposals and agreements that would solidify humanity's position in the galaxy. One of the key meetings took place at the Galactic Council's headquarters, where Counselor Alara presented a new framework for integrating humanity into galactic affairs. The proposed framework aimed to establish collaborative projects and joint missions that would benefit all parties involved. The idea was to ensure that humanity's advancements were used for the collective good rather than creating new tensions. General Thompson reviewed the proposal with a mix of hope and caution. The framework offered opportunities for collaboration and mutual benefit, but also required careful negotiation to ensure Earth's interests were protected. The General's team worked to address potential concerns and to highlight the ways in which humanity could contribute positively to galactic security and advancement. As the negotiations progressed, a new perspective on humanity began to take shape. The Galactic Council, once skeptical and dismissive, now saw humanity as a valuable ally. The Dreadnought had not only showcased human technological capabilities, but had also demonstrated their potential for cooperation and contribution to galactic stability. Counselor Vrel, who had once been the harshest critic of humanity, now found himself in a position of reconsideration. He acknowledged the impressive nature of the Dreadnought and the positive changes it had prompted in his view of humanity. "I must admit," Vrel said during a council meeting, "the Dreadnought has shown us that humanity is not to be underestimated. Their technology and their willingness to engage in diplomatic discussions are noteworthy." The shift in perspective was also evident in the interactions between human and alien representatives. Diplomatic channels were now open, and collaborative projects were being planned. Humanity's contributions to galactic security, scientific research, and cultural exchange were being welcomed and integrated into the broader framework of galactic cooperation. The new perspective was not without its challenges. While many council members were eager to explore new partnerships with humanity, there were still those who viewed the Dreadnought with suspicion. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted, and some were wary of the potential implications. General Thompson and his team had to navigate these concerns carefully, ensuring that humanity's intentions remained transparent and cooperative. As the months passed, the once mocked humans were increasingly recognized as important players in the galaxy. The Dreadnought had done more than prove technological capability. It had catalyzed a shift in the galactic order. Humanity was now viewed not just as a fledgling power, but as a serious and respected participant in interstellar affairs. The new perspective was a testament to the power of innovation and diplomacy. The Dreadnought had changed the narrative, transforming humanity from a source of ridicule to a symbol of progress and potential. General Thompson and his team had successfully turned the tide, and humanity was now poised to make meaningful contributions to the galactic community. For Earth and its leaders, the journey from being underestimated to gaining respect was a significant achievement. The Dreadnought had played a pivotal role in reshaping the galaxy's view of humanity, and the future looked bright with new opportunities for collaboration and growth. The respect earned through the Dreadnought's unveiling had set the stage for a more influential and integrated role in the galactic order. On the other side were those who were resolute in their determination. They spoke passionately about justice and the need to stand up against such clear evil. For them, the image of the tortured child was a powerful symbol of the suffering that could not be ignored. They believed that humanity had a moral duty to act, to protect the innocent and punish the guilty. The debate was intense and emotional. Each side presented their arguments, weighing the risks against the moral imperative to act. As the discussions wore on, the leaders could see that the public sentiment was clear. People across Earth were united in their demand for justice. The cruelty of the Council had touched a nerve, and the calls for retribution grew louder by the day. Faced with mounting pressure and a growing sense of moral responsibility, the decision was finally made. Humanity would not stand by while such atrocities were committed. They would act decisively to bring justice to the tortured child and hold the Galactic Council accountable. The leaders knew this decision was risky, but they also understood that failing to act would mean betraying their own principles. The next phase was swift and precise. The human military began assembling a special task force, selected for their skills and expertise. This team was made up of the best soldiers, strategists, and scientists, each chosen for their ability to handle the complex and dangerous mission ahead. They were tasked with developing a plan to strike at the heart of the Galactic Council's power. The team worked around the clock, their mission clear, to prepare for a surprise attack that would cripple the Council's ability to continue their oppressive rule. They designed advanced weapons and strategies, leveraging humanity's technological edge to its fullest. The goal was not just to defeat the Council, but to deliver a message that such cruelty would not go unpunished. In the meantime, the Galactic Council remained oblivious to the storm brewing on the horizon. They continued their ruthless experiments, their arrogance blinding them to the growing threat. They saw themselves as invincible, unable to conceive that anyone could challenge their authority. As humanity's preparations continued, the task force grew more confident. They were driven by a deep sense of justice and a determination to right the wrongs inflicted by the Council. The preparations were meticulous, and every detail was carefully planned to ensure the success of the mission. The humans knew that their actions would have far-reaching consequences. They were about to challenge one of the most powerful entities in the galaxy, and they were fully aware of the risks involved. But their resolve was unshakable, and their commitment to justice was unwavering. As the day of the attack approached, the galaxy held its breath. The Galactic Council remained oblivious while humanity prepared to make its stand. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy and send a powerful message about the consequences of cruelty and oppression. Humanity was ready to show the galaxy that their moral compass would not be swayed, and they were prepared to fight for what was right, no matter the cost. The time for action had come, and the galaxy was about to witness the unfolding of a dramatic and decisive battle. The day of the attack had arrived. For months, humanity's special task force had prepared for this moment with intense focus and dedication. Now they were ready to strike at the heart of the Galactic Council's power, aiming to punish them for their cruelty and to bring justice for the tortured child. In a hidden base, deep within an asteroid belt, the human forces gathered. The base was a marvel of engineering, equipped with advanced technology and weaponry. The leaders and soldiers moved with purpose, each knowing their role in the upcoming operation. The tension in the air was palpable, but so was the determination. They were about to launch a surprise attack that would change the galaxy forever. The target was the Council's outer planets, strategically chosen for their importance to the Council's control. These worlds housed key military installations and resources vital to the Council's power. The human plan was simple but effective: strike hard and fast, hit the most important targets, and create chaos that would disrupt the Council's operations. As the attack began, the human ships moved silently through space, cloaked from enemy sensors. The ships were sleek and deadly, equipped with the latest technology that gave them a significant advantage. The fleet was led by a seasoned commander who had trained for this mission for months. Her name was Admiral Sarah Green, and her focus was unwavering. The first wave of attacks was launched precisely at dawn, Galactic Standard Time. The human ships emerged from their cloaks and unleashed a barrage of laser and missile fire on the Council's key installations. The explosions lit up the dark void of space as the Council's worlds were hit with unexpected ferocity. The attacks were so precise that they took out critical defenses and communication centers in seconds. On the ground, the Council's soldiers were caught off guard. The initial shock and chaos were evident as they scrambled to respond to the unexpected assault. The human forces had planned their attack to exploit the Council's weaknesses, and it was working. The Council's defense systems were overwhelmed, and their response was disorganized and ineffective. The human strategy involved not only destroying targets but also creating confusion. By disabling communication channels and spreading misinformation, the task force ensured that the Council's leadership was unable to coordinate an effective defense. The human ships continued their relentless assault, focusing on key targets that would cripple the Council's ability to retaliate. As the day progressed, the Council's outer planets were in ruins. The once proud worlds, known for their advanced technology and military strength, were now scenes of devastation. The Galactic Council's arrogance had blinded them to the reality of their vulnerability, and now they were paying the price. Despite the chaos, the humans remained focused. They had one goal: to deliver a decisive blow that would send a clear message to the Council and to the galaxy. They knew that their mission was far from over, and they were prepared to continue their assault until justice was achieved. Back on Earth, the people watched the events unfold with a mixture of anxiety and hope. The news of the attack spread quickly, and the public was riveted by the unfolding drama. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with many seeing it as a necessary action to counter the Council's cruelty. As the attack drew to a close for the day, the human forces withdrew to regroup and assess their progress. The damage they had inflicted was significant, and the Galactic Council was left reeling from the unexpected onslaught. The message was clear: humanity had arrived, and they were not to be underestimated. The attack had been a success, but it was only the beginning. The Galactic Council's grip on power was weakening, and the path to further action was now open. The galaxy watched with bated breath as the humans prepared for the next phase of their mission, determined to see justice done and to hold the Council accountable for their actions. The Galactic Council was in turmoil. The surprise attack from humanity had left their outer planets in ruins, and their once unshakable authority was now deeply threatened. The Council's leaders, who had always believed their power was absolute, now faced the reality of their vulnerability. They knew they had to act quickly to avoid complete disaster. In the heart of their central command, the Council gathered for an emergency meeting. The room was filled with alien leaders, each one anxious and angry. The atmosphere was charged with desperation. They had never imagined that an external force could challenge them so effectively. Their arrogance had blinded them to the possibility of defeat, and now they were scrambling to salvage their crumbling empire. "Enough!" roared High Chancellor Zalan, the most powerful leader among them. "We must make a stand or face annihilation. We cannot allow these humans to continue their assault without consequence." The Council agreed. They quickly began to mobilize their remaining forces and deploy their most advanced defenses. They ordered a complete lockdown of their remaining military resources and prepared for a counterattack. The plan was to strike back with everything they had, hoping to force the humans into a retreat or, at the very least, buy enough time to regroup and reinforce their defenses. As the Council's forces prepared for their last stand, the humans continued their operations, unaware of the full scale of the Council's response. The human fleet, still regrouping from their initial attack, had planned their next moves carefully. They were ready to push forward, but they were also aware that the Council would not go down without a fight. The day of the counterattack arrived. The Galactic Council unleashed their newly mobilized forces in a coordinated effort to strike at the heart of the human assault. Massive battles erupted in space as the Council's ships, heavily armed and fortified, engaged the human fleet. The fighting was fierce and relentless, with both sides exchanging heavy fire. The vacuum of space was illuminated by the explosions and bright streaks of laser beams. On the ground, the battle raged in the cities and military installations of the Council's central planets. The humans faced fierce resistance as the Council's forces put up a determined defense. The Council's troops, driven by desperation, fought with a new intensity. Their aim was to break the human advance and show that they were still a formidable opponent. Despite the Council's efforts, the human forces were well prepared. Their advanced technology and strategic planning allowed them to adapt quickly to the new threats. The battles were brutal, but the humans' determination and tactical advantage began to turn the tide in their favor. The Council's forces were pushed back, and their attempts to reclaim lost ground were met with fierce counterattacks. In the midst of the chaos, High Chancellor Zalan realized that their position was becoming increasingly dire. The once mighty Council was now on the brink of collapse. The leaders of the Council were forced to make a critical decision, whether to continue fighting a losing battle or to seek terms for a ceasefire and negotiation. As the battle reached its climax, the Council sent out an urgent message to the humans proposing a truce. They offered to discuss terms that would end the conflict and prevent further destruction. The humans, having witnessed the Council's last stand and the extent of their desperation, were cautious but open to the idea of negotiation. Admiral Sarah Green, leading the human forces, knew that any agreement would have to ensure that the Council's cruelty would be punished and that justice for the tortured child was achieved. The terms of the truce would be carefully considered, and the Council's willingness to negotiate was seen as a sign that their hold on power was indeed crumbling. The Galactic Council's last stand was a dramatic and pivotal moment in the conflict. Their once unstoppable power was now challenged by a force they had underestimated. The battle had shown the galaxy that even the mightiest could fall, and the humans' resolve had demonstrated that they were a force to be reckoned with. As the fighting subsided and the possibility of negotiation emerged, the galaxy watched with anticipation. The outcome of these negotiations would determine the future of the Galactic Council and the lasting impact of humanity's intervention. The stage was set for the final resolution of the conflict, and the galaxy held its breath, waiting to see how the story would end. The battle was over, and the Galactic Council's last stand had come to an end. The once powerful leaders, who had ruled with cruelty and arrogance, now faced a new reality. Their empire was in ruins, their power shattered, and their ability to oppress others had been dramatically reduced. The galaxy was waiting to see what would come next. Admiral Sarah Green and her team stood on the bridge of their flagship, watching as the last remnants of the Council's forces were subdued. The human fleet had shown both strength and restraint, ensuring that the Galactic Council's fall would be both decisive and just. The battle had been hard fought, but the victory was clear. The time had come to shift from conflict to reconstruction and to determine what the future would hold for the galaxy. The truce negotiations had been intense. The Council had been desperate, seeking to end the conflict before their entire empire was destroyed. Humanity's terms were firm but fair. They demanded that the Council's leadership be held accountable for their atrocities, including the torture of the innocent alien child. Additionally, the terms included the establishment of new governing principles to ensure that no power could ever again abuse its position to the same extent. As the negotiations concluded, a new order began to take shape. The Galactic Council, in its weakened state, was forced to accept the terms. The once feared rulers were now reduced to figureheads, stripped of their authority and control. The galaxy was poised for a significant transformation, and the humans played a crucial role in shaping this new era. The first step in this transformation was the creation of a new governing body, one that would replace the old Galactic Council. This new assembly was designed to be more representative and just, with leaders chosen from a variety of planets and species. The aim was to ensure that power was not concentrated in the hands of a few, but was shared more equitably among the galaxy's diverse inhabitants. Humanity's involvement in the new assembly was pivotal. Their role was not only as a key player, but also as a symbol of the new order. The values they brought, justice, fairness, and accountability, became the foundation of the new governance structure. Human diplomats worked alongside representatives from other planets to draft a new constitution that would govern the galaxy with principles of equality and respect for all species. In the weeks following the Council's downfall, the galaxy began to rebuild. The destroyed worlds were slowly being restored, and the suffering caused by the conflict was being addressed. Human aid organizations and relief teams were sent to help with reconstruction efforts, providing resources and support to the affected planets. The goal was to heal the wounds of war and to help the galaxy move forward. The former council members faced trials for their crimes. The evidence of their cruelty was overwhelming, and the trials were conducted with transparency and fairness. The punishment was severe, but it was meant to serve as a lesson to future rulers about the consequences of tyranny and oppression. As the new order took shape, the galaxy experienced a renewed sense of hope and optimism. The once feared Galactic Council was now a part of history, and the new governing body began its work to ensure a better future for all. The values of justice and equality became the guiding principles of the new era, and the galaxy slowly began to heal from the scars of the past. Admiral Sarah Green and her team returned to Earth, their mission accomplished. They had played a crucial role in ending the Council's reign and in establishing a new order. The humans were celebrated not only for their military prowess, but also for their commitment to justice and moral integrity. The story of humanity's intervention would be remembered as a turning point in galactic history. It was a tale of courage and conviction, of standing up against cruelty and making a difference in the galaxy. As the new order settled in, the galaxy looked forward to a future where power was balanced, justice was upheld, and the lessons of the past were not forgotten. The galaxy was now a place where the abuses of the old regime were replaced with the promise of a fairer and more just society. The new order was a testament to the enduring power of hope and the possibility of positive change, proving that even the darkest times could lead to a brighter future.